bit of rush tonight because our guests of honor had another commitment. And we really thought it was important for us to tell them how much we appreciate the coverage that they have given us. I mean, our purpose is to keep the information about the history of the area alive. And of course, by reporting the news, they are documenting the history of the area. So we have some similar goals. And the other thing that's exciting, not that we're glad to see them leave, but we have their successor with us tonight. Amanda Garcia is here with her family. She has been doing a lot of the reporting out in the field for John and Gail, and so we hope we will have the same kind of coverage. If you get the Rosamond News, they have really given Rosamond and all the activities in Rosamond a lot of support. And I know that this is not the only newspaper you publish. So we wanted to thank you, and this is the only way we thought we could do it, and we appreciate you sneaking over here because I know you have to leave soon to go to your other commitment. Anyway, Siobhan, would you like to say a few words? Just stand here so this might finish you up also.
I will try to be quick, but I tend to be chatty, so Gretchen will just pinch me if I get too chatty. John and Gail cannot stay because we had the audacity to do this on St. Patrick's Day, which is like a national event in their household with their friends. So we really, really appreciate the sacrifice of them coming out for us. And I was telling John and Gail earlier, I think in today's age where kids text and they email and they do all of these things, and we think they're immersed in print all the time. And I was telling them that I was sitting and I was reading the Rosamond News once years ago, and I'm reading through it and I'm reading through it and I'm thinking, well, John's got half the story right, and he must have been drinking for the other half of it. And I'm going through this, and of course, apparently I'm not too bright because it takes me all the way to the end of the paper. And Gail did point out that there was something listed at the top of every page that said, this was the April Fool's Day edition. And so when I got to the end, John and Ole Lansgard had a heck of a good time, and there was just enough truth intermingled in all the bold-faced lies to make it extremely entertaining. And so we so appreciate your truthfulness, your ability to weave words into stories that are so meaningful, and to be a wordsmith that is someone that we can look up to. We really, really appreciate it very much. Thank you.
They have just been so faithful about telling people about our meetings, and we do so appreciate that. Siobhan, do you want me to do the cards? Okay. As people came in, I hope you all signed the cards, but we have a card for John and Gail. You want to come up here and you can say a few words? And why don't you move over this way so that the person recording the video have the ears of it.
Thank you.
Oh, how nice.
Very nice. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
And we have something for you to take back.
perfect.
good.
And it's green.
It's great.
Oh, and I love these. He's really
Yeah,
nice.
they're great.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, do you wanna say something? Move over
Sure.
here so this mic also picks you up.
Okay. Well, happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Last year, we were in Ireland with all of our children and had a wonderful 2 weeks traveling around Ireland. Gail and I had never been there. The kids had all been there, and he showed us all of the stuff they'd seen, and it was a marvelous trip. But it took some time for us to figure out how long we published the Roseman News. And 40 years. We published the Roseman News for 40 years. And it went by fast. And it was fun because of the people that we got to meet. And you know, I look back there and I see Gene Melchers. He was one of the first people I met who was hanging drywall in his apartment buildings over on the east side. And we were friends then we fought for a while, and then we became friends again. But every person there was really an amazing experience. I look at Terry down there, he's not fishing, he's got a green shirt on, and he was always been a friend to the Roseman News, always begging for space for projects free. And the thing about doing a newspaper for a town like Roseman is you get to know all of the people and all of the issues. And you can't get too involved personally, because the news is one thing, the people are another thing. And we've had working for us for 10 years, Amanda and Javier. And they're Californians, born and raised in the down below, and moved up here and now live in the Antelope Valley, have a house here in the Antelope Valley. And over the 10 years, they've learned the newspaper business and all of the stress and strain that goes with it. And now they have decided they'd like to buy it from us. So we said, okay. We're happy to sell it to you. So they're gonna take it over. And that's good, because I look at the demographics of the people at the Southern Kern Unified. It's different from when we first came here 40 years ago. It's a different group of people. The people at Roseman High were born in the United States, but they what should I say? It's a new world. It's a new world. They have their things that they want to work on, things that they think are good. And it's time for us to pack our saddlebags and head on down the road.
Well, John.
So,
Thank you, John. And speaking of Amanda, would you come up, please? Thank you. John, I have some things for Amanda too. We have a card for you that says, welcome. And we also have for you a plant. Another child. And I think you're going to be seeing Amanda's face around. She's been around at all the community meetings, so she pretty well knows what's going on here in town. And she's done a good job of reporting. If you get the Roseman News, and I certainly encourage you to have a copy of it, you always get a little comment that, that from Amanda, that's how I learned your last name. By looking at who wrote the article. Anyway, we do thank you guys, and I know that you need to leave. If you want to wait just a minute, I'll tell everybody. First of all, does anyone have any questions or any comments? Okay, this is how it's going to work. Back in February of 2021, I interviewed John, and we videoed it, and we have it on disc. And it was really their videoing and then putting things on YouTube that got us to put things on YouTube. So they were the thing that started us posting all of our stuff on YouTube. This is on YouTube. It's way back at one of the second ones I think that we did. But you're gonna see it tonight. So this allows them to get to their previous engagement, but it still lets you find out the story of the Joyces. So anyway, I think, Sharon, do you want to add one more thing?
One more thing. John, you were fussing a little bit about Terry looking for a good deal. Well, Gail, you said there is a good deal for Terry with the newspaper, so I'll let you come and share what you said the new good deal was for those that are subscribing. And this is for you, Terry.
Terry might be already. Okay, we are having a retirement discount on the online version of the Roseman News. It is usually $33. It's $15 for the year. We have some flyers up here. We'll also have them maybe in the library at the chamber. Oh, good. So yes, you can sign up. I'm going to tell my web person to cut the price down to $15. So we hope that you can be part of that. Thank you very much.
Anyone else have a few things to say, or shall we let them get on their road? Okay.
Or does Amanda want to say something?
You want to say something, Amanda? Yeah, talking to your mind.
I've been working, like they said, for the Joyces we're going on 11 months, right? Roman's turning 11 this year. We're gonna be in August, and I've learned so much from them and a lot about this community, because I grew up in Battle Valley, which is a little bit, we're about 15-20 minutes away, but Roseman has changed a lot in the last 10 years for me. Before there was no Starbucks, no 7-Eleven, so I've seen it grow tremendously. And then that new plaza that's coming in this next coming year is amazing. So if it wasn't for where I live now, Roseman would be. And it is still a possibility. My husband and I love it because your guys' school district is amazing. But I'm gonna be out here more. If you guys have any questions, my email is on the flyer for the good deal. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, I'm more than happy to answer any of those.
Okay, well, thank you again.
picture of the four of us? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, don't run away. There, come right in here.
Espera. Espera.
Thank you, Javier.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
I didn't.
I was gonna give John and Gail lifetime membership.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's greatly appreciated. And
Where this was recorded. It was during the pandemic, and so we were outdoors, at my house, in my back patio. We were not really aware of the ambient noise, but I have a lot of trees, and I have a lot of birds, and you're gonna hear them. When we were doing this live, we really weren't aware of it, but it really does show up on the video. Now, Matt did investigate trying to get the software to take out the noise, but it was hundreds of dollars, and we thought, well, we'd rather spend our money somewhere else. So we just are warning you that there's a lot of bird noise, but that's at my house. Are we ready, Matt? Sure. Okay, I'll get the lights. Is that okay for everybody? Yes. Okay.
This is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. And I'm here with John Joyce. John and I were having a conversation a few months ago. And he has a very, very, very interesting history. And I thought it would be good to get him to give us something about his history. I know that early on, there were things involved with the movies. So, John, do you want to?
Well, I'll tell you, I brought today the first copy of the Roseman News.
Is that Maggie?
This is Maggie Getchell.
Oh.
She appeared on the front page of the first Roseman News back in November of 1986. Now, 35 years ago is when we started the Roseman News. So, that's what I can really talk about.
Well, just briefly
But-
talk about some of your before Roseman News history. because that's what I'm
Before Roseman News, yes, I was doing TV commercials down in Hollywood. And my first job was for Insight Productions. They had an office down there on Highway 1. And my job was to deliver scripts to the stars in Hollywood. And so they'd give me a script and an address for 11 o'clock, and knock on the door, and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait, and finally one of these movie stars like Gregory Peck or somebody would open the door about an inch and look out. Yeah, what do you want? I have a script here from Insight Productions. Okay. And open wider, take the script and shut the door. But when you saw them on camera, they looked altogether different. We would go down to Television City, there on Fairfax, and shoot these half-hour drama presentations, which Insight was. And gee, I got to meet many of the big Hollywood stars. They had some very nice people, others terrible people, but I got to meet them anyway.
Well,
So,
interesting.
yeah, that was that lasted about 2 years down there, and then I started my own production company and started doing more commercials and more trade films and high-tech films for industry. And
Yeah, I remember when we talked before, you talked about getting pictures of gold bonding.
yeah, good, you remember that. Well, that really was an interesting shoot, because the way they were bonding then, they were taking gold wire and by moving it real fast, they were getting it so hot that it would weld to the substrate, which was on these chips. These are little tiny chips. And nobody really had ever seen that in action. They knew how it worked, so, but what I did is I got this monstrous, I rented this monstrous lens so I could get close. And then I took a still shot and then moved the camera, took another still shot, all the way around 360 degrees. And then we edited them all together. And so the effect of that was the camera looked like it went all around the gold wall as it was bonding on the substrate. So at the show, the trade show, which was down at the LA Convention Center, all of these big people from big electronic companies were crowding around our little booth, watching this gold ball bonding.
That's exciting.
The company name was Unitech at that time, and they were bought out by a bigger company. Luckily, I bought a little stock back then, and when they went big, the stock went up.
Wise move.
Yeah.
Well, then tell us how you got into the newspaper business, because this is the first, this is really, I remember Maggie well.
So you?
Yeah, this is.
She was a great gal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, that was number one, and this, of course, is this last week's. So this is volume 36. That means 36 years of continuous publication, and this is number 1,830. And here we're talking about Roseman shopping.
Yes.
4 new stores coming into Roseman. But how I got into it, the answer that I'd love to give, I don't know if I gave it last time, but hunger. I had to, I got married and started a family, and I needed more money than we were getting from the movie business. So I looked around, and I liked the publishing business because it moved fast. Every week, new stories, new people, new exciting things. I liked that. And so I started, and one thing led to another, and finally I ended up buying a community publication in Acton. With my movie money, I had bought 5 acres in Acton and a new house, and moved out there. And in Acton, there was a community publication put out by 2 gals. And it was all there was. It was really like
Chamber of Commerce or
Like a bulletin almost.
bulletin or come out and sporadically. Who knows if it would come out in 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. But when they did come out, they would have stories about local people and new businesses coming in, things like that. And so the two of them got to fighting, the two gals got to fighting. And it didn't come out for a while, and I thought, wow, I wonder if I could get buy-in from them. So I went, and I could only find one of them. And, oh, sure, I'll sell it to you for $10,000. I said, okay. So I bought it for $10,000, and with the idea of making a weekly community paper of it. And I did, right away. And got it going, and the local businesses really liked it because now they can get someplace to put their products and advertise. And real estate people liked it because they had property they wanted people to invest in. So that's what happened. And it was going great. And then one day at the market, the other gal that had owned the paper came up to me and said, I was out of town for a short time and didn't know that my partner sold the paper to you, but I really own half of it. So I own half of your paper.
Oh, no.
And I said, Simone, no. Well, she took me to court. And we had, my first time in court, had to get an attorney and everything, but.
Not a happy experience.
No, scary to go to court, you know, and not knowing what they could do to me and so forth. But, I won. They said to her that she hadn't been around and the partner in good faith had sold it to me, and I'd made my deal with the partner and we signed our papers and everything, and this other partner was not mentioned, and so I was in the newspaper business and older and wiser for having been to court and found out what that was all about. But that's how I got started with acting.
Well, and then, but you have a lot of these small papers that you're publishing.
6 now.
Okay.
We have 6. The next one was Lake Los Angeles. I knew a realtor out there, and they were doing a lot of real estate business. And again, they were doing the publication. They were themselves. And this was Mike Lefevre. I don't know if you ever knew the Lefevres. But we got to talking one day, and I said, are you going to keep publishing this? He said, no, I would get out of it tomorrow if I could figure out some way to do it. And I said, well, how about if we publish it, and I'll give you some ads for it. Oh, that's great. So that's how it started.
Okay, so you have the Hampton, Lake Los Angeles.
Yes. And then I was working on my paper at my house one day. I get a knock on the door. And Louis is at the door. Now Louis is an Iranian young fellow. And I didn't know him. He said, I need a bank publication. The bank tells me that I have to publish a fictitious business name statement for 4 weeks by state law, and then bring it back to them before they will open my business checking account.
Because he's using a fictitious business name.
That's right, because he was using Acton liquor instead of his personal name. So I said, well, I don't know anything about that, Louis, but I'll tell you what, I'll go find out. So I went to the Valley Press, which was our local publication. The markups were there, and they weren't very cooperative. They didn't want to talk to me or anything. So I went to an attorney and I found out from the attorney what it was, and we looked up the state of California law governing fictitious business name publications. And long and the short of it was, I found out what you had to do. You had to get your publication adjudicated. And now adjudication, all new, but I found an attorney. He had to look it up. He'd never done one. And so we got the Acton Agridoce News adjudicated to publish legal notices. And that was a long time. It took a long time to do that, but we got it done. And then we could publish Louis' fictitious business name, but we also could publish LA County legal notices like tax delinquent notices for properties. And wow, that was a windfall. Because turned out there were a lot of people in the Acton Agridoce area who had not paid their taxes or were delaying paying their taxes. And so the county sent us pages, at that time, pages of people who owed money and their property was going to be auctioned unless they came up with the money. So we, sure enough, we published it. The county paid us, and that was terrific. Well, we did the same thing in Lake Los Angeles. I got that adjudicated because I understood what it was about. And I came to Kern County, and part of the California law governing newspapers makes the adjudication good for the county only.
So you had to have another.
So, that's right.
We have a visitor.
Yeah.
My cat just wandered.
That's right.
Anyway.
And so, to get those tax notices in Kern County, Roseman, I would have to get it adjudicated in Kern County. So I looked around and here was this young attorney just opened the office. Olaf Landsgaard. Well, before long I met Art Landsgaard, Miriam Landsgaard, Daniel Landsgaard, Eric, and all the huge Landsgaard family.
Clan, yes.
Clan, and the wonderful people. Oh, wonderful people. Art and Miriam were so good to us. They took an ad out right away for real estate. I had to have us over for dinner. Art took me up in his airplane and flew me all around, showed me this huge desert area. And, but we got it adjudicated. We went to Bakersfield and, yeah, we got all the paperwork in and we went up in front of Judge Oberholzer. Judge Oberholzer had just come out of the Navy. He was the Navy man then. And he never adjudicated the newspaper before in his life either. So there's I am there, and here's Olaf. He never adjudicated a paper, and here's the judge. He never. So we're down there in his courtroom, and the stenographer is taking all this down. He's asking us all these questions. well, how many subscribers do you have? He said, I said, well, you're right, I have 147. That's how many I had at that time. He says, well, that's good, because he says, you don't even have to have any. That's not one of the requirements for getting adjudicated. You do not have to have subscriptions. Yeah, and I didn't know that. He told us that, and then he asked a bunch of questions about Roseman, how many people were here, and you know, it's not a city, and so you can't go to the city hall and say, well, what's the population? You can't do that. And if you try to do it in Bakersfield, now they're kind of soft on statistics about Roseman. But we got it adjudicated, and we published it now for 36 years.
That's amazing.
Never missed an issue.
That's
36 years.
awesome.
No matter if we had earthquakes, no matter if we had power outages, 36 years.
You still are publishing it.
Yeah, still publishing this.
I know you changed the format some.
We've changed the format, yeah. This is COVID clean. This is COVID clean, and the pictures are better, brighter.
Yeah, the paper is different, yeah.
Paper's different, the type is clearer. All around, much easier on the eyes and better to read. And still publishing.
Have you done that with all of your newspapers?
We did.
You did.
We did. Yes, it's been a great thing, and still, you know, real estate is still
Oh, I know.
one of the big things here and everywhere. Houses and stuff.
And that's a nice format. I like the way it's laid out, so you can see where in the perspective of the entire community, the property is.
Yes, and we got a state award for that, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yes, we did. We did. We got
Very good.
Yeah, we were carry that down here on the left-hand side, state
Oh.
award.
You know, I always just
Yeah.
sort of look at the properties.
You look at
and
the
not
dollar on the property, yeah.
Not notice.
Uh-huh.
Well, very good.
Uh-huh.
But it's a nice format, it really is.
It shows the whole area, it shows these darker areas are where they shut the street lights off,
Yes,
because, well, that's a whole
I know. With
political
that
thing to
is-
talk about,
Yes.
but there's no street lights there, but every place else there are street lights. And so, it's, and the Gattons here